So apparently Trump is proposing a bill that will cut Section 8 funding. You don't have to be someone that utilizes Section 8 to see the damage that this man is trying to cause. Why is it when money needs to be cut, they want to try to take from low income families, but not make their rich friends pay their taxes? If the people who were well off would just pay their taxes, no money would need to be cut. And people seem to think that, oh, ghetto people are just the ones with Section 8. No, it is made for low-income families, people with disabilities, veterans, people that just need help paying their rent. It just seemed like to me that they like to attack groups that are the most vulnerable instead of getting more money from the groups that are more stable. That's just crazy to me. And at some point, you got to think, these people are really evil. You're cutting funding from people who already can't afford their housing. How evil do you sound? Section 8 has paved the way for many people to be able to have roof and housing over their heads. So to make that a primary focus for cutting, it's just weird to me. Diabolical, if you will.
You're going to have the biggest mass amount of homelessness in the history, not just of the USA, of the world, if we cut the program. So in my opinion, what'd you say? 2.2 million people, right, would be essentially homeless. No landlord's going to just accept you not paying them at that point, and expecting them to pay out of pocket is just unreasonable and unrealistic. So.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem and Havashah Ba'Hashem B'Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone who taught me this truth, and much respect to the Akim of their labor and his work. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect who will scatter abroad across the four winds of the earth at the USA. Shalom. Yeah, man, so let's jump straight into it. And, this is, of course, a very interesting topic, a very intriguing topic. As proposed cuts to housing programs could affect millions, X was warned, right? And this is pretty much a shot at you so-called black women out there. You're going to be affected the most by these proposed or bills that are proposed that may go into play, in which at some point, this is going to be a reality, as the Heavenly Father is going to check the pride of you women out there. Those of you who walk around with stretched forth necks, you calling yourself independent, you don't need a man for this, you don't need a man for that. Well, guess what? The days that are coming, the Lord's going to put that into the test, as we believe that Trump, who was that cruel Lord in Isaiah 19:4, is going to be the one to bring forth a lot of these measures that are going to have you out here in streets, all right, in which your government assistance is going to be taken away at some point, in which it all really goes back into the Lord. But again, the Lord's going to check the pride of you women. He's going to bring you down to your lowest estate, off that high horse, that pedestal that Esau put you on, and he's going to bring you down very, very low, man, with these conditions. And then simultaneously, he's going to raise up the elect men out here, all right? And that's the Lord setting everything back in his natural order. So in those times, in those troubling times in which you're going to be needing a man, the Heavenly Father is going to give his men the go-ahead, to accept you or not, man. And those are the times that we're coming into. And a lot of women are not going to be accepted because they're wicked, Their wicked is going to be too late for them. But anyway, this is just a build up, So it says the White House proposed slashing funding for Section 8 and other federal programs by about 43%, saying it will fix our problem, a broken federal housing system. It's like saying it will fix our broken federal housing policy. All right. As we can see, we got the habitation, the J right there. So experts are warning that President Donald Trump's proposal to slash roughly 43% of funding for federal housing programs like Section 8 vouchers could have devastating effects for millions of Americans, as the country already faces a housing supply and affordability crisis. So if they take away your Section 8, which you women probably pay like, $100 a month for Section 8 homes. And on top of that, you get all the rest of these other benefits as well. And again, these things pretty much contribute to your pride and arrogance and self-independent. Well, look forward to the time or the days in which you're going to have to deal with not having these things, or being held up by this government, which has contributed to your rebellion, man. So let's read this one right here. The cuts would affect tenant-based and project-based rental assistance programs, as well as public housing for the elderly, and housing for people with disability, man. So you got even the elderly, who need some kind of governmental assistance, and also the disabled as well, which, they're being threatened. So it shows you how Trump is that cruel Lord. He doesn't give a damn. All right. The proposal also would shift more of a shared responsibility to states, though housing experts were doubtful that smaller governments would have either the capacity to or vested interest in making up the difference. Okay. But this is all the Spirit of the Lord, and to prove that, as I was speaking about, as far as that cruel Lord, let's go to Isaiah 19:4. So it says, and the Egyptians, which are your Americans, who are the modern day Egyptians, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. So the Heavenly Father is taking credit for giving America, you Americans, over into a cruel Lord, which is Trump. And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh by Shemashah host. So he's going to use Trump, this cruel Lord, to punish you Americans out here, man. You seeing what he's doing with the terrorists, and the economy was being destroyed. All right, now he's talking about taking away your Section 8. So this word cruel, strong H7186. Let's see what kind of words we got here. You got hard, cruel, severe, obstinate, which goes in you being stubborn or hard-hearted, not easy to persuade. So Trump is that guy, man. All right. No matter what you Jakes do out there as far as marching, you take to the streets, protest, shit ain't gonna matter. Trump's still gonna do his thing. It says hard, difficult, severe, fierce, intense, vehement, stubborn. Yep. Stiff neck, rigorous. All right. Fierce. And these words right here, severe, reminds me of 2 Timothy. So I had it pulled up. 2 Timothy, 3rd chapter. Just dealing with these times that we're entering into. So this know also that in the last days perilous times to come. Very troubling times, man. Resources going to be dried up, and you're going to see the love of many wax cold, and that's going to bring out the beast of man, basically, by the lack of resources. So perilous, strong G5, 467, hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear. It's going to be hard to bear or deal with, you getting kicked out of your home, man. You're losing your Section 8 and your governmental assistance. You see? That's when you women are going to see it. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and we'll get that later on. So that's going to be very hard to bear. And what are you going to resort to? Prostitution. When women lose their homes, when they, are down and out on their luck, they got nowhere to go, they resort to prostitution, especially if they got children. They got to feed them. So you women out there, a lot of you going to resort to doing things which you wouldn't normally do as far as prostitution, and a lot of you going to be what? You're going to be snatched up, especially in the time of evil, when there's lawlessness. You're going to be snatched up and put up somewhere, locked up, chained up, and whoever has you in that predicament is going to do whatever the hell they want to do with you, man. And no one's going to be able to help you. It's going to be a troublesome time, very dangerous, harsh, fierce, and savage. You see? A vicious time. Cutthroat, man. Shh. So we think that Trump is going to facilitate these perilous times that are coming, that cruel Lord. So let's go back I think we're done with this, but what we'll do is we'll go into these couple of videos I got right here, and we'll get back into the scriptures. But check this out right here. Just check out what Trump just said.
Save America's suburbs finally I will save.
So as you can see, Trump plays on racist fears of low incoming housing. Let's check them out.
Finally, I will save America's suburbs by protecting single-family zoning. The radical left wants to abolish the suburbs by forcing apartment complexes and low-income housing into the suburbs right next to your beautiful house. Right next, you have a beautiful house, and they want a nice low-income building to be right next to you.
Let me tell you something. First, Trump passed a law where you can't buy junk food with food stamps no more. Now, Trump is proposing a plan to cut the Section 8 budget by $26.8 million. This means millions of people will be homeless in the U.S. And I mean homeless too, because the shelters finna be overcrowded and you can't get in where you fit in at when it's already overpacked with people that ain't on Section 8, and which will result in an immediate increase in violent crimes. Right now, it's about 2.3 million low-income households and over 5 million people living in Section 8 households. Now, if this bill is passed by Congress, the single mothers will be forced to the streets. Do y'all think Trump took a late night ride through the hood over there in O Block, or over down here in Miami by the Poker Bean, or over there goddamn Cali, Crenshaw somewhere, and saw them G-Wagons and them goddamn Range Rovers y'all be having parked in front of y'all Section 8 apartments? Do y'all think he done found out y'all got men living in them goddamn Section 8 houses illegally? Or do y'all think he trying to push people to stop depending on Uncle Sam and start trying to become a homeowner? Now, you do know it's illegal to be homeless in America. You can definitely go to jail for trespassing on other people's property. So I wonder what's going to happen if they evict people out their Section 8 houses and they ain't got nowhere for them to go. It makes you wonder, where the hell them tax dollars going? Because they cutting everything but their own pockets. And I wonder what the elderly gonna do, what the disabled gonna do, and what about them veterans that served in the service for the U.S. that's on Section 8 right now? What about the people that depended on that from yay high up until today now, and now they told they gotta get out? Bye. What they gonna do, especially those with dementia, Alzheimer's, that ain't got no family members left to shack up with? What they gonna do? If people out here stealing milk, eggs, and Pampers to survive, can you imagine what they gonna do when they become homeless? But I'm gonna tell you what I'm about to do. I'm finna go in there and put on my clothes and go to the goddamn shop and buy me some more choppers, because it's about to get crazy out here. Y'all comment below. Do y'all think that this a good or a bad thing? Is Trump trying to force people to stop being dependents and learn how to be independent? Do y'all think that this crisis gonna cause violent crimes to go up in the U.S.? What y'all think happening?
Yeah, so ultimately, these devils, they want to provoke Jake into taking to the streets, protesting and robbing and looting. That's why, we read about these perilous times that are coming. They're going to be fierce and savagery because of the conditions, man. The Lord's going to cause this devil to take away these resources, and Jake's going to buck up, right? Just like with any kind of disaster, Jake goes to looting and stealing. Now, Trump is, justified in sending the military to these Jake's neighborhoods, to somehow get control. So they set up a snare for you Israelites out there, All right, they want to ultimately, round you motherfuckers up and put you in the camps, as we already know. But for you women out here, when you see these things happen, then you're going to consider Micah 7:10. It says, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahweh thy power, man? See? Mine eyes shall behold her, and now she shall be trodden down as the mire in the streets. So the women are going to be a prey out here, man. They're going to be like, lamb, to wolves. They're going to be devoured, man. They're going to be out a prostitute, doing everything that they can to get money to feed their children, and they're going to be getting snatched up, raped, and killed in brutal fashions, man. And that's what's going to contribute to that fear, that humility that these women are going to have to endure, that will bring forth Isaiah 4:1. All right, but let's get Isaiah 32 and verse 9 real quick. So it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Because right now, the Heavenly Father is constantly having great millstone rebuke the woman, in her rebellion, because these days that are coming, they're not going to be pleasant, man. You at ease right now, but the days that are coming, you're going to consider your ways. So hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. So many days and many years you shall be troubled, ye careless women. Let's read this in the NLT. In a short time, okay, just a little more than a year, and they talking about doing this in 2026, I believe, you careless ones will suddenly begin to care. All right, you're going to consider your ways then when the Lord takes away this shit. For your fruit crops will fail and the harvest will never take place. So your governmental assistance overall, your welfare, your snaps, all right, are going to be compromised. And then you're going to be looking around like, what do I do? Your Section 8, what do I do now? And you're going to resort to prostitution and just getting it how you live, man. But you're going to be a prey in that time. So tremble, ye women at ease. All right. Be troubled, I'm in the KJV, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. See, he's going to make you naked. Everything that you utilize as a covering is going to be taken away. He's going to strip you. And gird sackcloth upon your loins. It's going to be in a period of mourning. They shall lament for the teats, all right, which is, the Teats, which is pretty much this welfare system, this governmental assistance that nourishes you and keeps you stable, man. For the pleasant fields, all right, for the fruitful vine. Okay, you're going to lament when the Lord takes away these things. So when that happens, okay, it's going to be a very troubling time. So when you go up to verse 2, it says, and a man should be as an hiding place from the wind. All right, these different troubles out here, man. Okay, and are covered from the tempest. So this man is not talking about any ordinary man. Is dealing with an elect man of Yahweh Shema Shah, who's going to be raised up and exalted in the time of trouble. Okay, in which this man is going to be like the greatest form of protection that everyone's going to want to flock to in those days. All right, especially you women. It says, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Right. So if you're in a desert and you see a river of water, you're going to sprint to that water, man, because you're thirsty. All right. And if you're getting torched by the heat or scorched by the heat and you find a great rock, you're going to go and take refuge at it, man. So that's going to be likened to a man of Lord in those days. You see? So this links up with Isaiah 4:1, where it says, and in that day, the day of trouble, 7 women or a complete number of women should take hold of one man, right? That refuge. One man should be as an hiding place, saying, we'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by that name, and to take away our reproach. Because again, the Lord's going to shame a lot of you women out there, man. He's going to break that pride of the so-called black woman to where they're going to be willing to get down and be obedient at this point. So this is all necessary. These are necessary evils that the Lord is utilizing to bring forth, order. All right. He's exalting his men, and he's going to abase a woman to her natural order, which is being a servant. And she's going to be willing to do whatever you say in that day because of the evils. All right. Homegirl just got raped and torn in pieces. Other things, man. All right. Her children just got kidnapped. See? Crazy stuff like that's going to be happening. She's going to be one a form of protection. So that's where, the Lord's going to glorify himself by exalting the men in which he raised up in those troubling times. So, yeah, just want to go through that real quick. These are the times that are coming down the pipe in which the Lord's going to cause a lot of trouble for you women out here, who are rebellious. But for those who, repented and came back into Yahweh Shema Shai, you're going to be good. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Until next time I say, Shalom.